Alright people, I'm back. Sorry for the gap in uploads, things have been kind of busy here. But I thought I would do something slightly different this week to sort of take a break from the, CD collection and stuff. Maybe make it less so sort of monotonous and stuff. So this is going to be a Q&A video. I've had people submit some questions to me. I've got quite a few, of things that they want to know, and I will do my best to answer them. But before I do that, I'm going to do a little collection update because I've been out and about recently and I picked up some gems. So I'm going to show those off before we get to the Q&A side of the video. Okay, so first up, these were sent to me by my friend Gretchen from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Thank you, Gretchen. These are much obliged for having these, for sending them to me. She sent me first off Blind by Corrosion of Conformity, which is an album from them that I've actually been looking for a while, and apparently they are local to North Carolina. So she was like, "Oh, I'll send you some COC because I've seen that you've got them on your playlist and things." So that was very cool. Thank you for that. She then proceeded to send me Sorrow and Extinction by Pallbearer. Now, I bought their first album, not their first album, their latest album, Foundations and Burden. I bought that on a whim and decided I really enjoyed it. And she saw my video, my first collection video where I showed it, and she said, "Oh, you like Pallbearer? Do you want this?" And of course I said yes, and she sent it to me. So that's very cool of you. Thank you again. Thank you so much. But not only did she send me those two albums, she also sent a bunch of CDRs my way, which is pretty insane. We've got Tempora Infernale by Demon Eye, who are a local, really good sort of occult rock doom band, which I could not recommend highly enough. Go check them out because those guys really do deserve all of the publicity that they get. And if I can help them have more likes on Facebook and more people know about them through my videos, that would be awesome because they are really nice guys and their music's fucking incredible. We've also got a Beaten Back to Pure. I can't for the life of me remember what the album's called. I'll have to look. Hold on. Southern Apocalypse. That's it. We've got Southern Apocalypse by Beaten Back to Pure. Now, this is going to be left in the video because I don't possess the appropriate skills for video editing, so you're going to have to bear with me. We've also got Leave the Light by Demon Eye, which is the first album from Demon Eye, which I have on here. And also the solo project of Dorothea Cottrell from Windhand, which is very good sort of acousticy stuff. I also went out to a place called Vinyl Cult in Liverpool, which is in the Grand Central area. Go there because it's a fucking awesome store. And I picked up for $15 all in. I got Pure Holocaust by Immortal. Never bought an Immortal album before. Never really listened to them much because I was kind of under the impression that they exist purely to mock other black metal bands because they seem a bit silly. But this is really good. I'm glad this was my first introduction to Immortal because I actually really like this album and I picked it up on a whim. I just kind of saw it. I was like, oh look, they've got Immortal in a record store, which is kind of unusual over here. So I picked it up and bought it, and I'm glad I did. I also got Wolverine Blues by Entombed, which I think this is an original press, which would be very cool if it was. But I like this album. I really like Entombed, and this is just kind of my favourite Entombed record. And I think this is a very cool thing to have. So yeah, we got Wolverine Blues by Entombed, and I picked up a couple of tapes as well. Decade of Aggression cassette 1 and cassette 2 by Slayer. They were two for £5, so I thought, well, I can't really leave these behind. Plus, I've got a tape deck, so why not? But that concludes my sort of collection update, recent collecting thing. So now we're going to get to the meat of the video, which is the reason you're all here, I assume, which is the Q&A. So, first question we have here is, how far is Pluto from the Earth? 4.6 billion miles. Boom. No, 4. No, hang on. Sure, this is drawing on like high school science. Uh, I know this. I know this. It's 4.76 billion miles. I think. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong. Alright, next question. If you had a female body for a day, list 5 things you would do. I'm going to skip that one. If you could get any tattoo for free, what would you get? Well, I'd think about getting a tattoo first. For me, getting tattoos is not just I feel like getting a tattoo. I'm going to go out and get one. You get what you pay for, so I assume if I could get any tattoo for free, it would be one that I've really wanted and one I really wanted to put work into, and something really, really pretty. And then I get it done for free. So I think that's an appropriate answer. I'm not too sure. Whoever submitted that, feel free to call me out on it. Next question from someone anonymous as well. Hello Kitty or Boo Boo Kitty? The fuck's a Boo Boo Kitty? Anyway, next question. Would you rather be a powerful Sith or a famous Jedi? I might be agonizing over this for quite a while because, the Jedi are obviously the force of good. They are the all-powerful, all wholesome, all good force of light and what have you. However, not so much. There's quite a bit of hypocrisy going on with the whole Jedi business. Although, I kind of enjoy the fact that the Sith tend to deal with emotions. They deal in more human aspects. They embrace anger and fear and hatred, which are all very human emotions. But I don't know. Probably gonna go with Sith because Vader's a badass. That's probably all the reasoning I need. I think that's a sort of appropriate answer. I think that's enough of an answer to, be good. Okay, how old were you when you got into metal and which bands? Right. So, I've always been into music. Like my whole life I've been into music. Admittedly, it was never really heavy music. My earliest memory is being in the car in around 1996 or something. Very, very. I was tiny in the back of the car in my car seat, and my mum would always play Greek folk music because we have sort of an affinity for Greece. It's the only place I've ever really been on holiday, and it's sort of my spiritual home, really. And so that was kind of my music's always been in my house. It was never really a new phenomena. But I was 10 years old when I first got into metal, or what I would at the time call metal. I remember sitting in my friend's house. He had this big old stereo. I used to always go around there and watch him play guitar because at the time I was completely musically retarded and had no musical talent whatsoever. So I'd always go around and just listen to him play guitar, and he had a stack of CDs and shit. And the first actual sort of metal bands, that I would get into were Slipknot, because I remember seeing a video of Joey Jordison playing the drum solo where he goes upside down. There's this big flashing pentagram on the drum riser and shit, and I was blown away. And I'd listen to bands like Slipknot and System of a Down. Actually, 2005. May 18th, 2005, which was my birthday, was the day that Mesmerize came out, and that's still my favourite System of a Down album, hands down, ever, because it's incredible. It's a fantastic album, and it's got a lot of memories and also sentimental value to me. But I'd say that the bands that got me into metal were sort of Slipknot, Metallica, Venom, I like Venom. Celtic Frost, System of a Down, and sort of less metal but more sort of rock bands that got me into it as well were bands like Offspring. I still think Conspiracy of One is sort of my childhood album. I really like that. I remember I had a copy of that. I had a burned CD of it, and I'd play it on my dad's ancient fucking Ghetto Blaster thing, which needed to have a book resting on top of it in order for the laser to read the disc. So yeah. Okay, perfect tour lineup. Oh boy. You people ask extremely hard questions. My perfect tour lineup. I have a few. Like, my perfect sort of rock lineup would be Red Hot Chili Peppers, because they're my favourite band. Have been since I was 6. I love them. So, and I've never got a chance to see them live, and I should probably fix that at some point soon. But they never really come over to the UK. But my perfect sort of rock lineup would be Red Hot Chili Peppers, Queens of the Stone Age. When you ask a question and your mind just goes utterly blank, that's happening. Oh boy. Probably Smashing Pumpkins, because I'd like to see them live, even if Billy Corgan's a dick. I would still kind of like to say to see them live, kind of to say I've seen them. Graveyard and Cadaver, that would be a fantastic lineup, and I would probably enjoy myself, which is mostly why I've not been to any festivals before, because there's only usually 3 or 4 bands on that I like that I would go and see, only they're spread out across the entire weekend, so I can't really justify paying upwards of 300 quid for a ticket. But I'd probably go there. But my favourite sort of black metal tour lineup would probably be Taka, Cradle of Filth, Hecate Enthroned, Primordial, Watain, and probably Dark and Nocturne Slaughter Cult. That would be fun. My dream sort of death metal tour lineup. Obituary, Carcass, Malevolent Creation, probably Cataclysm. That'd be cool. I'd take way too long to answer one question. That took me ages. Next question: boobs or booty? Why not both? Why choose? Favorite metal subgenre? Well, I'm kind of fluctuating at the moment. I go through periods of listening to exclusively one subgenre and then kind of drifting. But I would say my favourite subgenre of metal is probably black metal. But I also enjoy the kind of mishmash of the two, like Black and Death, or, but I'm also into my doom and my stoner a lot too. So they're my favourite subgenres at the moment. But I do like most subgenres anyway. Okay, what do you do first thing in the morning? Okay, I know what you're all thinking, and no, well, it might be, but the first thing I do, first thing in the morning, is I curse the day. Sorry, that was very dramatic. The first thing I do is I curse the day. The important thing is I think I'm funny. Best concert. Okay, so I've been to a ton of concerts. Like I play more concerts than I attend these days. But I have a few that are my best concert for different reasons, purely because I can't really choose one. Um, the one that immediately springs to mind is Blackstone Cherry. I actually saw them in February 2014, and the reason this is so special to me is because it was part of this thing called the Southern Hospitality Tour, which they would pick. Maybe there was only maybe 4 or 5 dates on the entire tour, and they'd pick really kind of intimate venues and stuff like dotted around the country, and they would play a 2-hour set list, which was picked by the fans. You know, the fans would pick the set list, and there was no supports. They were just Blackstone Cherry for 2 hours, which probably sounds like a bad thing to a lot of you, which I'm perfectly okay with. But the cool thing was afterwards they also staged this Q&A thing where they'd all just kind of sit down on the stage, put their instruments down, and just talk to the crowd. The crowd would ask them questions and they'd answer it, and it was a really special thing because they put on their Facebook that this is a once in a lifetime thing. We'll probably not do this again. In fact, we will never do this again. So that sticks out to me. That's a good memory for me. And I also went there with my mum, so that was just awesome because we go to a lot of shows together, and that's just like a memory that the two of us have, which is cool. But another one of my favourite concerts was Bad Religion, because they never disappoint. And I remember the first time I saw them, I was fairly new to Bad Religion. I was like, I don't really know I like a few songs, and I'm not paying for my tickets, so fuck it, let's go. So I did, and I really enjoyed it. So it made me listen to them more. And then I got into them again, and I got into them more, and I was like, fucking hell, why couldn't I have been this sort of into them when I saw them? And then by chance they came along again, and I've now seen them 4 times now, I think. I lose track, but they never disappoint. But I also enjoyed seeing Godsmack in London in 2012. That was the only time I've ever travelled quite far. That was a 4-hour train journey from where I live in the northwest of England to right down to the centre of London. And that was their first UK show in 9 years at the time. The last time was them supporting Metallica in 2003. And at the time I was really huge into Godsmack, and I thought, like, this is the one band I have to see now. And then I've pretty much seen all the bands I want to. Little did I know that later there would be a lot more. But that was cool because I got to see a band called The Defiled, who I'd seen before, but I'd seen them when nobody knew who they were, like before they were famous. And then I saw Godsmack, and there they are opening for Godsmack in their hometown. So that was a pretty special thing. Plus, Godsmack were incredible. And I was lucky because I think that London show was the first date of the tour, and I think they had to cancel the rest of it due to illness. So that was lucky. But no, I've been to a ton of shows, and my other favourite, this one just came to me because I've been to so many, was seeing Turisas in 2011, because that was so much fun. That was the most fun I've had at a show. I got dropped while I was crowd surfing, which is always cool, but they were just the stage presence from Turisas. I mean, I have to admit that their 2013 album fucking sucked. I hated their 2013 album. But I saw them on Stand Up and Fight tour, which is kind of their last good album for me. But again, that's personal opinion. And no, that was just so much fun because I met a load of friends. Like a few friends of mine came from college, and we all went to see Turisas together, and it was just really fun. It was a really nice atmosphere. So I think those are my best concerts. Again, that was a slightly longer answer than I anticipated, but I like talking. Alright, next question. A naughty secret you're willing to admit. Um, I don't really have any. I'm fairly boring and one-dimensional, so I don't really have any sort of deep, dark secrets or anything. Um, none, even if I wanted to admit, I couldn't think of. So this is, I can imagine there's at least one person sitting behind their computer screen going, "Fuck." Someone wanted to know this, and I'm sorry to disappoint you. All right, favorite superhero. Hmm. Now I'm a Marvel guy. I will admit I'm a Marvel guy. My favorite superhero has either got to be Havoc or Wolverine because I like X-Men. But there's fucking hundreds more that I could choose from, but they're the only two that really spring to mind immediately. One thing that really ticks you off, apart from general human interaction, loud chewers. People who chew loudly. I can't deal with it. I mean, I can handle it to a certain extent. Like I wouldn't really like be sitting across from someone who was chewing loudly and just immediately blow up in their face and like beat them to death with like a plate or something. But there's a limit, and when I reach my limit, I get nasty. So that's one thing that really annoys me is loud chewers. It just drives me up the fucking wall. But I feel that a lot of people think that too. So that's fair. It's kind of like a non-answer. It's a bit of a cop out, really. So I apologise for that too. Oh God, this is where the Q&A takes a bit of a downward spiral. Have you ever thought about killing someone? Honestly, no. I haven't actually thought about killing someone. I've thought about someone said something to me and it's been like I would really enjoy it if you seriously hurt yourself, but I would never wish death upon anyone. I think I'm just too nice. But yeah, that's kind of it. Okay, favorite death metal band. Hmm. Um, I wouldn't say that these guys were my favorite death metal band, but they're a death metal band that I really like. Immolation, because Dawn of Possession by Immolation is fucking excellent. It's probably one of my favorites of old school death metal bands albums. Sorry, but either Immolation, Suffocation, Nile, or Cerebral Bore. Although I know Cerebral Bore are a bit more slam, but yeah. Favorite drink, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Hmm. I quite like Fanta, like fruit flavored soda, and just like Pepsi and Coke and shit. My favorite alcoholic beverage is either Heineken, the red berry Bulmers cider, crushed red berry and lime. I don't know if anyone outside of the UK gets that, but it's really good. Or Fireball. Mind you, having said that, spirits don't really agree with me. If I could choose between a beer and a spirit, I would probably choose a beer because gin makes me cry. But Fireball, I like Fireball because I like cinnamon. Okay, favorite black metal band. I might have to take a while for this. I really like Dodheimsgard, early Dimmu Borgir, so we're talking sort of Stormblast, Foraltid era. Early Cradle of Filth, Primordial, and Hecatane Throne. I think those would be my any of those. If you picked one, would be my favorite black metal band, but it's kind of interchangeable. Favorite film, the extended Lord of the Rings trilogy, because it's the only series of films I can watch over and over again and not actually get bored of. There are some others, like Friday the 13th, the original series and things, and Halloween. Like Halloween is my favorite slasher film series, but they can get a bit hard wearing over time, but I think that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is my favorite film because I grew up with those movies. I watched the Fellowship when it came out back in like 2000 or something when I was like 5, and I loved it. So they kind of stayed with me, and I'm big on sort of fantasy and things. So Tolkien is a big part of my childhood and my sort of it shaped my writing style and also kind of my outlook. So yeah, favorite food, anything Mexican. I love Mexican food. Like Mexican food is my kryptonite. Like any kind of like peach iced tea, some instant noodle dish, or something salted caramel. Like that's like my kryptonite. So anything Mexican would be my favorite food. What kind of shampoo do you use? Actually, I use Tresemme in the. I don't know if any of you get Tresemme in like the outside of the UK. I'm not knowledgeable on any of this, but I use the Tresemme shampoo in the black bottle with like the blue stripe on the label. I don't know what kind of shampoo that is, but I use that coupled with the volumizing conditioner, which makes everything all curly and pretty. And it just feels good. Like I use other shampoos and stuff, but my hair only doesn't feel like squeaky or like rubbery when I use Tresemme. It doesn't have that residue afterwards, which is nice. But yeah, I use Tresemme. We're the last 2 questions at the moment. This has gone on for quite a bit, but we're at the final 2 questions. What's your middle name? My middle name is Anthony. Not sure why that information would be useful to you, but yeah, my middle name is Anthony. And my favourite animal? Cat. I am a cat person, like through and through. I love cats, but I am an animal lover. I like animals, but my favourite animal would be a cat. So yeah, that's it really for my first Q&A video. If you guys enjoyed it, you know the drill. Leave a comment, subscribe, leave a like, any of that. Again, apologies for the delay in posting and stuff, but I will be back to it. I will show off part 5 of my CD collection soon. Until then, keep your eyes peeled, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you next time.